Just saying.
Crazy, yeah. But times it by like
You're
5.
tuned in to the Profit Growth Hour. And financial stability is something that is so important in this day and age, and financial literacy is something that we have to take hold of and to grasp in order for us to elevate to the. So what?
That's right.
We're here with the financial experts, and Sonya here is looking to make sure that you have all the information that you need in order to be properly prepared for the destiny that awaits you.
Absolutely. And having a plan is part of the plan.
Mm-hmm. Because if you don't have a plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So you have to have a plan, and that plan usually starts with a budget. Mm-hmm. And that's the B word. That's a curse word that nobody likes.
Yep.
Mm. And there's half the people out there that may have a budget, but then half of them people don't follow the budget.
Absolutely.
Right. So
is there a tip for that? Because I'm like one of those people.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I always have good intentions, but then it's like, I did budget this, did I not? And then off the rails. So what do you suggest for that?
Well, sometimes it doesn't have to be very complicated. Just starting with even if you just start, if you just start recording what you spend on a weekly basis, that's a good place to start.
Daily basis.
Yeah, and look at the total at the end of the week. You'll be surprised at what you find out.
All that bubblicious and
I don't even know that I want to know.
But that and therein is the reason why people don't want to do a budget.
Exactly.
Because of what they're going to find out.
Right. Exactly. One of the homework assignments that I have in my boot camp is you have to print out your last 2 month statements and highlight all of your dining out.
You need to upgrade that though, because a lot of people don't keep their receipts or they don't always use debit cards. So even if you do the banking printouts,
we do ATM as well. We do ATM transactions because we don't know, but we actually do highlight the McDonald's and Chick-fil-A's and everything else also in accordance to that. You circle your groceries, and then when we get into it's too expensive to shop healthy, we do that. All things food related ATM charges do count as well. We calculate all of that together, because if you're meal planning or if you're prepping or if you're budgeting or planning, then all of those numbers are going to decrease, and your grocery bill may compensate for a lot of what you're spending as opposed to the lunches and the drive-throughs and things like that as well. But that's one of the biggest ways that we get people to, because you can't dine out during boot camp. If you do, there are only specific places that are guns approved that you can go to.
That's great.
Outside of that, you cannot dine out. You have to, because it's about teaching and educating. It's about creating a good habit, as well.
That's right.
As a rule of thumb, something that I always suggest people to do is live off of not more than 80% of your bring home. So not more than 80% of your net. 10% you should be giving. 10% you should be saving. So every dollar you give away, you should also pay yourself that same dollar. So if a person is giving $100 at an offering plate, you need to pay yourself $100 in your savings account.
So let me ask you something about the savings thing, right? I am not any type of financial guru, but this is just what I think. Versus saving, I feel like it's better to try and invest in something. Do you agree or disagree with that thought?
Well, that's what I mean by saving.
Okay.
So when you save money, you have to put it someplace.
Right.
So I don't necessarily recommend you save it and put it in your mattress.
All right.
Or put it
in
in
your
a checking
bank or
account.
whatever.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, you should be investing. So mutual funds, stock market, bonds, something. That those monies should be working for you. Have your money work for you as opposed to you always having to work for your money. And then with the remaining 80%, not more than a third of that, 33%, should be used for housing purposes. So when we talk about rent, utilities, insurance for the home,
do you
taxes.
have somewhere that you have like the breakdown of this that people could kind of get that information? Either one of you?
Yeah.
You said you have services. Well, you got to share that with everybody else.
And for a small fee.
Yep. Gotta work for you.
A small fee.
Very small fee.
Small monomial fee.
But yeah, I do coaching and consulting.
Okay.
With regards to that, I was I owned a financial services corporation for 10 years. So that's what we did. We did budgeting, we did investments, we did insurance, we did mortgage originations. So we did that for a 10-year period of time, teaching people how to get into homes and buy homes, teaching them how to live beneath their means, teaching them about deferred gratification. And just because you see it doesn't mean you have to get it. And, ooh, it's back to school, and my baby needs to have all the name brand stuff. No, your baby don't. Yeah, but
Don't
my
grow
baby
out
ain't
of
gonna
it.
love me. Don't worry about it.
Right.
They'll get over it.
What?
Well, you know, I mean,
Velcro.
I still have the my baby needs to have all the name brand stuff. However, there is a budget attached to it, and we do consignments. So you can find consignment
Yes.
with name brand
That
for
is correct.
$2.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
So if
So-
you
I'm
need
all
to do
about
that,
that.
then do that. Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
pressed
Yeah.
about name brands, but if you're getting it on consignment, I say go for it.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
Well, for me, it's not really about name brand. It's more about quality because I know my kids are younger and I know they're really hard on like
On
clothes
clothes and
and
shoes.
shoes. So I want something that's going to last. You know what I mean? But I don't mind paying a little extra for quality, but I also pay attention to where I go, and I always go in with a budget. I don't shop anywhere without a budget, cash
Right.
or card. And normally I don't use my card, but I definitely don't go anywhere without a number in mind.
I need to start doing that.
Go out
I'm
with a
getting a
list
little-
as
what-
well.
Well, I always try to have a list, but the number thing is
Yeah, and
loose.
see,
It's
the
never like
vaguer
a hard number.
the vaguer the number, the easier it is to. Oh well, it didn't really.
yeah.
Right.
You didn't carve it out in stone.
Also keep in
Got
mind
it.
from a car note perspective, for those of you out there that like to drive nice and don't pay 21% interest for that car.
And refinance.
Yeah, don't do that. And if the car is more than your rent payment, that's a problem. Just want to throw that out there. So make sure that it's at least not more than a third of the third that you're paying for rent, insurance, mortgage, taxes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a third of the third should be the max you should be paying for a car. Because sometimes a person's credit is not where it needs to be. But we want what we want when we want it. And we're paying double-digit interest rates on a vehicle that you really can't afford.
Right.
See, that's where I did learn how to pull back because my car is older, but it is paid off, and I just not having a car note. I haven't had a car note in like a year or two, and the thought of getting another car,
It's
even though it would be
torturous.
nicer, the car note is just like, oh,
I
don't
just
wanna
want you to
pay
know
that every
it is
single month.
hor- I just had to get another car. My car was
Yeah.
totaled by a driver, and I had not had a car note in probably 7 years. Like, and the insurance was inexpensive. Like, I was lock, stock, and two smoking barrels, and I mean, I was like bike, maybe tricycle, scooters, Segway, like anything.
Yeah.
Right.
But a car. They keep forgetting a
Moped,
car.
yeah.
Vespa.
Right. Right.
You should always be looking for leaking money or missing money. When you get that, when your credit's not necessarily that great in the beginning, but you pay those payments consistently on time and in full, 6 months to a year, you can refinance. And you don't always have to refinance with money down or a deposit. Especially, you can go to the same place you already at and ask them if you can
Right.
refinance with them.
Yep.
And
But you have
can-
to ask because sometimes they won't
Yeah,
offer.
no, you have to
Right,
always
you have
ask.
to
So there's always places where you can lower interest rates. Your mortgage, your credit cards, your cars. There's places where money's leaking and you're just paying it because you're used to paying it.
Even I have T-Mobile, and I always call,
Yeah.
sporadically,
Cell
like,
phones,
hey, I've been with you now,
cable.
13 years. What can I get? Like,
Right.
literally,
Yeah.
what can I get for that?
That's right.
Discover I've had you and I haven't missed anything.
Right.
What can you do for me? I actually had Discover. They made payments for me before.
Really?
Out of good, good standing, never missing anything. They was like, you know what? We're gonna do this for you. I was like, hey.
Not without you asking, probably.
Right.
No,
but
you
that's
have
the whole
to
point. You
ask.
have to ask. And that's being an active part of your credit. That's being an active part of your money. I like the term leaking money because your insurance can go down. I have Legal Shield, and I just recently discovered with a lot of companies, you get perks from other companies. So you literally can get discounts on things that you use every single day just because you're connected to, another organization.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was part of a military family, everywhere pretty much will offer you a discount. But then when we weren't part of that family, it's like, okay, where do I work now? What can they offer this?
Right.
Like, I noticed they will offer you, again, you have to ask, but,
Right.
just think to ask. Don't think it's bad to ask for a discount.
Not at all. Not at all.
Go get your
I do.
discount,
Right.
And don't be afraid to shop. Because some
shop around,
people
yeah. That's
right.
are afraid to shop around. I understand loyalty and stuff, but
They're not
if I can
necessarily
get
loyal
it,
to you.
exactly.
When
all
I
they
work-
want is my money.
Yeah.
Right.
When I worked for the government, it was a requirement to have 3 quotes before you decide what it was. And it literally became something that I just do. If I'm going to fly somewhere, I need to get at least 3 different airlines, and see which one works best and learn how to travel, learn how to, like, all of that, relates back to your spending and what it requires to, have a enjoyable evening out.
But
Because
everything
there's
we're
like certain
saying,
times of the month and certain days that you buy airline
That's
tickets.
right.
Yep,
when they're
absolutely.
on
And train tickets.
discount-
That they're-
exactly.
yep.
discounted
And
stuff.
cars and everything, really.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you buy cars at the end of the year when they're trying to get in their new inventory for the upcoming
It's more
year,
likely to be
they give
less
deep
expensive.
discounts with regards to that. If you buy at the end of the month, typically you'll get a better deal because now they're trying to meet their quota. So they'll just give away a car just on margin in order for them to reach their bonus because they may be 1 or 2 cars away from a bonus. So
Right.
then they'll make the money up that way, not offer the commission from
Right.
you. So there's always strategies that a person can employ in order to save money and make money.
but everything we're saying requires time. People actually have to do work.
Do the work, do the homework.
And that's where I find that it doesn't matter how much financial knowledge you have, if you're not willing to do the work that it requires, then you don't necessarily get the rewards.
That is true. Because it's one thing to have the knowledge, it's something else to apply the knowledge. Some people will say, oh, knowledge is power, knowledge is power. Yeah,
Nope.
not
You
really.
got it.
Applied knowledge
knowledge
is
is
power.
power.
Because we live in a day and age now
That's right.
where information is at our fingertips, whatever it is we want to know. But we don't have a will to be able to apply that knowledge. There's a saying that says that older folk, they had a will, they didn't have a way. The internet didn't exist.
Right.
Today, we have a way, we just don't have a will. We lazy.
And we're used to instant gratification too. So,
Absolutely.
if a deal
Microwave
pops up,
success.
you assume it's the best one, and you don't want to do the research to find out if there's something better out there. It's right in front of you. So,
That is true.
yeah.
That's the world that we live in. But we need to do better. And there are opportunities and resources that are available for us to do better. And that's where we need to take advantage of organizations such as yours and your knowledge base to be able to re-educate people and get them to where they need to be because you're not going to get this knowledge in the school system.
That's right. Oh,
Right.
definitely.
Oh, no.
Well, because
That's
the
a good
school,
point there.
because the school system is designed to train people, by and large,
Mhm.
to work for
To
other
work
people.
for other people.
Yes.
Which is why I appreciate them because I need people to work for me. Yes. Just like as much as I can educate somebody about being a homeowner, well, because I own homes and I need renters for those homes, guess what? I need some of y'all to stay broke and rent from me type of thing and not own a home. I have a lady. She's rented from me for 15 years. 15 years. She paid my mortgage, taxes for 15 years, so I didn't have to.
Yep.
I love you.
Right? But some people
Thank you,
genuinely
Virginia.
like it that way. Like that's they're fine with you
Right.
taking that responsibility, and so everybody has their place.
Exactly.
So yeah,
The poor will always be among us.
Okay.
that doesn't mean you're poor.
Yeah.
There comes a point in
Financially
time,
challenged.
though. Exactly. You need to want more, do more, have better, have a piece of the American dream, have that white picket fence type of thing, 2.5 children, 2 cars, that kind of thing.
0.5.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? I just had this conversation
No, I
with
thought you
someone
just cut
else
the kid in half.
recently about what people want to make themselves happy in life, and some people genuinely are happier with the smaller things. Some people are like, you know what? I don't want the responsibility of taking care of the house if the roof blows off, whatever could happen.
Right.
I'm fine renting, and that's what makes them happy. So that's their place in life. they don't necessarily have to shoot for more or whatever. I mean, you do. You're an ambitious
then
person, and that's what
we
you need in your
start
life.
talking about leaving an inheritance to your children's children, and what does that inheritance look like? And if all you're going to do is rent and not own anything, then you have liability but no assets. And if you don't
I
have
mean, you
any
don't have to tell
assets
me.
to
Like,
pass
I'm one
along-
of those people
right,
who
I know.
want to do more.
Right.
But,
Right.
And one thing I do want to say is, I don't want to leave an inheritance for my children's children. I'm going to leave something for my child, and he's going to have to work to leave something for his child. That's just the way I think. Like, I'm not trying to make it so the next 5 generations can kick back with their feet up.
And
I
do
mean,
absolutely nothing.
if I
But-
have that
Learn.
much money, I'm donating it to other people.
But
Like, I'm not
Nobody
gonna.
said
An
5
inheritance-
generations, just 2 generations.
I
It's
don't,
not
I
that
don't even
much.
feel like it's that.
You know,
I don't even.
just
I mean,
two.
if you can, you know, that's
But-
awesome.
that's
But
your
that's
heart,
just not.
right.
That's not my personal goal. I'm trying
W.E.B.
to.
Du Bois said, if you shoot for the stars and you miss, you'll land somewhere amongst the clouds. And that ain't bad. So if you shoot,
for the moon.
don't worry about it. So if you shoot,
If you're gonna be
WD, like,
what I tell you? What I tell
Yes,
you?
sir.
don't get neck now.
Exactly.
Don't get
We had this conversation.
It's taking creative license.
Well, then this is what I said, okay?
Okay,
Forget
there
about
you go.
WEB. This is what I said. I said that.
You did.
But I do understand your point, though. Yes,
So if
definitely.
you work towards leaving an inheritance to your children's children and you fall short, okay, well then my children
Right.
get to benefit from the millions. And you can control that. So it's not just, oh, I croak and, ooh, you get millions. No, we have a trust. We have a will.
Right.
We outline, okay, you can't spend the principal, so I'm leaving the principal amount, but the principal amount has to be invested, and you can live off of the interest and the dividends of the principal amount. So guess what? That principal continues to be passed down from generation to generation to generation.
And not only that,
Fair enough.
you're also teaching them. So it's part knowledge as well. So you're leaving them with legacy. So you're teaching them what you want them to do and how to be responsible with that money so that when their children are born, they're teaching them the same.
Exactly.
Just because they have a lot of money does not mean they need to be clubbing, partying, doing drugs, and spending
You
your
got it.
money.
Yes.
But if you instill that in them when they're younger and as they grow, they become more financially responsible. And then that leads to them teaching their kids to become even more financially responsible. And that money, that little seed you may have left them, $1 million or however much, can grow with the generations as well.
Absolutely.
And that's
I
where a
agree.
financial gap becomes.
Absolutely.
That's why we have a financial gap.
It's really the mental mindset.
Yes.
Because if you can be disciplined with money, then guess what? You can be disciplined with your body.
That's right.
And
You can be
everything else.
disciplined on the job. You can be disciplined in other areas of your life because discipline is discipline and it's a transferable characteristic. And people don't understand that. So as long as you can develop characteristics which are transferable, then it flows into all areas of life and living, which now allows you to benefit and grow in a wide variety of different areas.
That's right.
Hour?
Who might you be?
Sonya Feela-z.
And how can they get in contact with you?
You can email me at sonyafeela@csonya.online.
Excellent.
Spell that out, please.
SUNYAFOLAYAN at SEESUNYA.online.
Thank you.
With the Z at the end. No.
No.
And the ghost speaker back there?
Oh, ghost speaker. Rachel Solomon, author, speaker, financial teacher. You can contact me at mylittlebanker.com. You can send me emails with questions at info@mylittlebanker.com. All social media, My Little Banker. That's it.
And she's serious about that because she got a little piggy bank on her chest.
Yes, I do. I love talking about money and kids.
Yay.
Oh, I'm Feela-z. I'm be hosting.
You feeling who?
Feela-z.
It's like
That's
you're
me.
feeling somebody.
Feela-z.
I'm feeling me. Feela-z. You can check me out on Instagram. Feela-z. FEELA_Z. Feela-z. And I'm going to be starting a new segment called Bringing the Heat, and I'm going to be talking about independent artists of all kinds, but mostly music. So check me out.
Yeah.
Get your listen on.
Hey. And I am Guns, Greatness Under No Stipulation. You can catch Guns Total Wellness at all social media outlets. It is one word, Guns Total Wellness. Our website is also gunstotalwellness.com. Our number is 980-239-7819. Call for your wellness consultations, your corporate wellness planning, as well as speaking opportunities and teaching education.
You didn't do your sound effect after Guns.
I have not done that since you destroyed it.
What? I did not destroy it. I
I
thought
want
that
to
was
hear the
clever.
gun sound effect.
Yeah,
I wanna
do
hear
it.
it.
See?
Really?
See? Everybody wants to hear it.
$5. We're talking about financial management. Pay me and I will shoot cannons out of a gun for you. Yes, thank you. Taught and learned.
Just have my 20%.
Message received.
20% check ready. Management fee. That's all I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah, and the royalty check every time you say it. Just throw that out there too. And you're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media,
The voice of the community.
I am Dr. Business, and we'll see you next time.